Are you ready for the change that is about to enter your life in the form of a me? And the questions that we have for today's show. My cousin already warned me, okay, we got our usual 25, but then she says, plus a last minute bonus question. So that really means there's 26 questions today. Sue, let's keep our enthusiasm under control because I know you're over there jumping up and down in your seat, all excited. But welcome to the show, everybody. This is What the Fuck Tuesday, the longest running relationship advice show on YouTube. And what we do here is people send in their letters in advance. If you want to send in one, you can look in the show description down below. There's a link. Just fill it out. So we, pick through those. Actually, my cousin Candace does it. And she puts them together in this lovely document, which she emails to me. And so I read the questions out loud and then I respond to them off the cuff. So there's no rehearsal to the show. There's no warning or, planning or whatever. I hear the question for the first time when you hear the question. And so it's always very entertaining and very, kind of off the cuff. If you happen to write in a question this week, be sure, or, within the last 2 weeks, because we don't get every question in right away, but, listen for your question. And if you hear me answer it, be sure to check out the chat stream as well, because a lot of times they'll have input for you that's very valuable, to give you some other insight if they've gone through the same experience. They live in that area. There's all kinds of things that they can augment the response that I give. And sometimes they have a different view or different opinion altogether. So you guys ready? Let's get started. Let us, well, I let you guys decide if it's the best. I just give the facts. All that is interpretation. Of course, I think it's the best. Who can duplicate me? Many have tried, I can tell you that. But, what can you do? Oh, hey, Sarah. Yes, it was, girl. I had to dip out of that. I was in there. I got so like worked up. I said, "These are some clowns up in here." And then, of course, the dudes got highly upset. So I'm already on Clubhouse getting hate. Building up my hate fan club. But I just couldn't take it. But you ladies know it's the same garbage over here on YouTube and on Facebook. The same clowns. They just make the round with their silly little minds. But that's all right. We gon' let that work because the main thing is I'm there to get in touch with more women, and if a few men's feelings get hurt in the process, Kanye shrug, you know. So let's go. Oh I'll tell you about that later. But it was lovely. So that's just the highlight. It was lovely. I'm not gonna give you too many details, but I'll tell you about it later. Let's take an intermission in a little bit. Let's start with question number one since we got 26 questions to do. We're going to be here all night. This is from a female in the 26 to 29 age group from Louisville, Kentucky. We have been dating for a year and a half, but don't live together. But have hit a wall this past couple of weeks on pets in the bedroom. I heard your response to a question written by a woman a few weeks back whose boyfriend preferred to sleep with his dog versus her. The situation is worse in my relationship. I always grown up around dogs of all sizes and it was never uncommon for my small dogs to sleep with me. Not only does it help with my mental health, but I sleep better. I recently got a Chihuahua puppy. A Chihuahua puppy? That thing must be about 2 inches big. He sleeps with me every night. He is a wonderful sleeper. He curls up so he is touching me and sleeps the entire night. He's not walking around licking me. He didn't grow up with animals, so I understand partly how he feels. He thinks the bedroom is for humans only and all pets should stay out. He has told me he cannot deal with it long term. From my perspective, I don't need permission for my dog to sleep in my bed in my house, but I know we need to find middle ground, and I don't know where to start. Well, this is what they call an irreconcilable difference if you were married, because there's no getting around this. Either the dog is in there or it's not, right? You can't like cut the dog up and put half the dog in the room, or, on Tuesdays the dog is in the room with you and on Thursdays when he's over it's not. I mean, you can't do that. It has to be one way or another. Personally, I don't like animals in the bedroom. See, this is my biggest fear. I know those of you who do this might think that I'm crazy, but I'm telling you this is how I think. Okay, so here you are in the bed getting busy, right? Here's some voyeur dog watching you, jumping up on the bed, wanting a closer look. Worse yet, decides it's time to, join the party or start, licking something. See, no, no. And I'm not saying this is what happens. I'm saying this is my fear, my concern, my worry. And this is why I will never be in the room. Go, I'm just not a fan of animals being in the house like that. I don't think they should be outside. That's where, wild critters belong. People belong in houses, and animals should be in like dens and caves and, forests and stuff like that. That's where they do. See, Lee, that's what I'm talking about. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Imagine, okay, I'm already stupid. So I'm be in some situation where dogs are doing something like that, I would lose my mind. So there is just no reason for me to be put myself in a situation like that. So y'all who can do that, more power to you. But girlfriend, I don't know what you were writing at thinking I was gonna say because I'm firmly in his camp on this one. You just gonna have to get you a different boyfriend who likes to sleep with a Chihuahua puppy. Question number 2. This is a male in the 36 to 39 age group from Columbus, Ohio. So I've had this friend. We've known each other for 20 years, entirely online. I have some friends like that. She's in a different state. We've never been romantically involved, and at least on my side, there's never been any attraction or romantic interest. However, she would periodically try to comment or mention that I should date her. This has become more and more uncomfortable as the years have gone by. What prompted me to ask for some advice is that I was talking to her about my mother's surgery and my taking care of her, and she goes on to say how caring I am and that I should date her. I haven't responded to her comment as I'd rather not say anything than say something hurtful. She has had a bad breakup, lost her job, and has medical issues in addition to having a close friend die recently. So she can be a little emotional at times if she feels people aren't being sufficiently supportive. She's done this 3 or 4 times over the years and also sent unsolicited, oh, kind of risque pictures of herself once too. I've tried to be polite when she's done it in the past, saying that she knows me too well to date me, playing it off as a joke. But this is uncomfortable for me, and I'm sure for her when she doesn't get the response she's looking for. I've not told her, but I just don't find her physically attractive at all. That hasn't changed in 20 years. She's a friend, and that should be good enough. Is there a way that I can broach this subject with her despite the current emotional vulnerability, or should I just distance myself and give her some time to sort things out? I'm halfway tempted to just not speak with her anymore, as between the constant crises that she's in, her moodiness, and the periodic attempts to pick me up, she's worn thin my feelings on the friendship. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Well, then do that. I mean, see, my thing is boundaries. Okay, boundaries. In a friendship, you don't be trying to get at your friends with this kind of stuff that's rude, nasty, and it violates boundaries. So if I were you, what I would tell her is, look, I see if you and this is a flat thing. It's not like you're accused or anything, and you definitely don't want to tell her that she's ugly and you don't you're not attract. You leave all that out. Okay, so this is what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, look. I consider you a friend, even though we haven't ever really met. I've shared things with you, you've shared things with me. I feel like we really know each other, and that kind of relationship has value to me. And I want you to understand, just like if you were a man, I wouldn't be trying to hit on you and trying to sleep with you because that's how I am with my friends. Friends is a specific category. They're in a certain box in my life. I'm your friend and you're mine. And one thing that we're not going to do is cross the boundaries and try to insinuate or, intimate about anything other than that. Girlfriends and husbands, boyfriends and husbands, but wife, whatever, are separate entities, and those things do not belong in a friendship. Am I clear now? I don't want to have this conversation again. And so then if she does it again, then you just, cut her off. I mean, to me, that's the thing. That's what I've always used with my, guys who I felt was trying to, they be very subtle about it, but they're like trying to feel you out, not as overt as her, but they're trying to feel you out to see if they have a chance. And I always give him my friendship with a woman speech and say, you, a friend is a friend. And I don't care if you're a man or a woman, you get treated exactly the same in my world. And since I'm not sleeping with none of my female friends, I wouldn't expect to sleep with you either. And that makes it very clear. And they understand, what time it is and that there's no hope for anything else. You in the friend zone, and that's where you're going to stay. Okay. So, but you have this thing going on with your mother and you're going to be taking care of her. So actually that gives you a good excuse to dip out and say, I'm just really just too stressed about this. This is going to be a long recovery for her and this and that. I don't have the energy to maintain this friendship right now or possibly ever. And then, okay, so bye. This is terrible. So you guys talking about that crazy site? Oh my God. We're gonna have to talk about that after I do a few letters. The gossip. It's just too much to hold. Let's move on to question number 3. Oh, this is a female in the 35 to 39 age group. She says, I have a question about expectations in modern dating. I want to know if sleeping with men on the third date is expected these days. I know you have male viewers, and I'd like to hear from them as well. I'm 37 and trying to get back out there after a more than 13-year marriage. Do guys expect women to sleep with them by the third date? Even if I like a guy a lot on the third date, it's not likely that I'd develop real feelings by then. I'd rather sleep with a guy once I've developed deeper feelings because otherwise, intimacy itself triggers those emotions in some women, even when it's not necessarily the right guy. For context, I had a nice third date with a guy and didn't sleep with him. Since then, his texts have riddled with inappropriate innuendos, even as compliments, and the tone has a certain edge. It's generally not positive, and the frequency of communication has diminished as well. The last person I went on a few dates with after the third date became obvious about wanting intimacy under the guise of flirtation, then just stopped communicating altogether. Do you think it's because I didn't sleep with them? Is this going to be a big problem now that I'm dating again? Any recommendations on how to identify men who are able to be patient? Girl, please. If I knew the secret to that, I could be a bazillionaire, like in the 67 million digits kind of bazillionaire. There's no way to know that. There's no way to know that. It's just a matter of what we in the black community call vetting. And it's going to be the kind of thing where you have to, have conversation with them. I'll tell you this, though, and this is what I tell all the women here, is if you with a dude and, he starts with this innuendo stuff, you already know what time it is. He's not interested in getting to know you as a person. He's not interested in dating you for anything long term. He's not interested in anything serious. He just wants to get himself, you know, satisfied. Let me put it that way. That's all he's thinking about. Instead of going to a professional to handle that and paying his $50 or $100, he's trying to get it for free. But if a man respects you and he's looking for more, he's not going to come out across like that because he's too afraid of offending you. He doesn't want to hurt your feelings. He doesn't want you to think he's garbage. He wants you to have a high opinion of him. So the fact that these guys don't care about any of that stuff and they're coming at you like this, only a fool or a woman who just want to get her swerve on and don't care either would want to mess with them. So it's got to be one of those two things. That doesn't sound like you. And even that thing, yeah, his jollies. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle, that's a good word. He if a guy's coming at you like this, that's like indicative of somebody who's just super thirsty. Ugh. And it's just like, you don't have no finesse. You don't have no game. You don't have no swag. And you just coming at people like that, like a bulldozer. And to me, that's usually somebody who doesn't get it very often. And so he's just thirsty as hell. That's what that means. Because the dudes who have, more skills in that area with women don't have to press like that. They're not so stressed and pressed about it. They can, they can wait. They can wait until things naturally evolve to where you are pressing him. If you have a situation like that, then that's a real player right there. But all these thirsty dudes like this, just pass them by because they probably not good in their what you call it. Their jollies are no good anyway, and you just be mad and just dirtied up your sheets for nothing. Hey Vanna, look at all these people in here. Hey, all the new people. Dandy said she learned that the hard way multiple times. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, they don't be about nothing. So, pay attention to how they approach you and how they conduct themselves in early dating. And in any kind of innuendo, even if he just, you give him a look and he says, I was just joking, he's trash. Okay, because gentlemen don't behave that way. So understand, ladies, don't be giving them, y'all be giving them too many passes and saying, oh, well, he didn't mean it. It was just a joke. Yes, he meant every word of it. And he's already disrespected you. So cut him loose. Don't be giving them second chances. It's not like these boys, these are teenage boys. These are grown men that y'all is dealing with in their 30s and 40s and sometimes even older and coming across like that. They're trash. Get rid of them. Let's move on to question number 4. This is from a male in a 46 to 55 age group from Seattle, Washington. Hi, Miss Cooper. I have heard my sister listening to your show a few times, and I am very impressed with a lot of the advice you give to women. Of course, I don't agree with everything, but I know enough to trust that you will give it to me straight and might be able to help me. I've been married to an awesome woman for the last 19 years. We both came into the relationship childless and decided not to have children. I cannot say enough about what she has brought to my life emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, etc. Oh, wow, that sounds like a great partnership. Even though many would not consider her aesthetically beautiful according to American standards, she has a great body for a woman about to be 50 and is amazing in every way. I can truly say I am a blessed man who has it all because of the woman by my side. None of my friends who are with, quote, beautiful women have quality lives anywhere near mine, but I digress. Okay, see, I'm starting to get a shaky stomach because I know the fact that you wrote to me means there's something wrong. So far, you've painted a beautiful picture of a marriage that people would die to have. So let's continue this. I'm getting scared. The issue is last week I went to a bachelor party for a friend of a friend. Okay, a friend of a friend. And had a great time. I should say two, and he put that in caps. Great a time because I ended up participating in an oh, uh, 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 I'm trying to be good on this show. You know the four-letter word that starts with an O and it's like a whole bunch of people piled together, that. And having wild eggplant with two of the strippers. Oh, dude. Miss Cooper, please believe me when I tell you I have never cheated on my wife. I have admittedly looked over the years, but never touched. I am feeling so hurt and guilty that I don't know what to do. I want to confess and tell her everything before she finds out some other way, but I don't know how. I have not been able to eat, sleep, or work since the guilt is eating me up. She looks at me like she senses something is wrong. I need your advice. Should I confess to my wife and potentially lose the best thing that ever happened to me? Or keep quiet and hope she never finds out? I don't think she will forgive something this egregious. I'll be listening for your answer. Thank you. Okay, so this, you went to a situation with a friend of a friend, so chances are you knew some people at this event, so there are witnesses to what you did, and you're concerned that it's going to get back to your wife, which most likely it will because most men have big mouths and talk too much. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. She knows something is up. She may not know exactly what, but you know when you've been married that long, it don't even take that long. But you've been married, you with a man, we know your soul. Sometimes we know what you're thinking before you do. So she, trust me, she already has an inkling that you did something that you shouldn't have been doing. So I'm gonna say this because not so much because of her finding out issue, but because you at least have somewhat of a conscience, and it is driving you crazy, and you feel like bird turd, and that's not gonna bode well for your marriage. So what you're gonna have to do, sir, is confess and then beg. Okay, this is going to be a 1-2 punch. Maybe beg first before you confess. I mean, I'm trying to, cheer you up and make light of it, but you're going to have to tell her. You don't have the personality to hide something like this, which is actually a good thing. It means that you're not like a total sociopath. You are a man who loves his wife and who did something like donkey ass stupid. Okay, just ridiculous. Okay, so see, okay, I slept with a stripper. Okay, that would be bad enough. But you doubled up on the fun, dude. So I don't know if I would go to all of that detail. I might just cut that number down to one. But the concept is that you cheated. The full details, I don't know if I would hit her with that because she might be thinking like me. Well, okay, why didn't you just stop after the one? Why you keep going if you claim you feel so bad about, you see what I mean? So you're gonna have to tell her, but somewhat mitigate the damage to her by leaving out that second person. And just tell her that's what you did, that you're, sorry, that you hate yourself. You just can't believe you did it, this and that. Offer to go to marriage counseling because you're both going to need it. I'm sure she's going to be very, very hurt that this happened. I'm thinking if you find a good therapist, they'll help you guys work through this. I'm going to hope that she loves you enough and sees that you are truly, truly remorseful and accepts it, and that y'all can continue your marriage. And I'm going to tell you this, home skillet, don't you even look at another woman. Okay, when you go out in public, you better get you some of them little horse things so you can't only see straight ahead. And what you looking at straight ahead better be your wife. And it bothers me, sir. It really bothers me that you think all these wonderful things about this woman and yet you did that anyway. You know for a fact that your life is better because of her. And you did it anyway. See, there's something going on with you. That's why you need to go to therapy, and she should be there with you so she can hear, what this thing is that motivated you to behave in this way after all the wonderful things you said about your wife. I just don't understand it. I'm hoping she has a better understanding than I do because I really don't get it. I don't know if you were my husband, I'd probably be like chasing you with a shotgun right about now on a serious tip because I would be that upset at you and I'm not understanding how what happened? What were you thinking that made you decide that this was what you should be doing in that moment versus saying, well, y'all about to get into some shit I'm really not trying to be a part of and going and getting your car and leaving. So see, these things I'm saying to you, before you confess, you better think about them all and you better have answers because she going to ask you. Okay, she's going to ask you, and you better have some really good, solid, well thought out, introspective responses for your wife to save your marriage. Well, she might not want to cheat. I mean, that's not always the answer. I mean, that's not always, especially after they've been married so happily and successfully all of this time. That might not be the way to go. But I mean, you're right, some women would do that. But anyway, write me back and tell me what happened. I'm so nosy. Question number 5. This is from a young man as well in the 26 to 29 age group out of Miami. My sister is 23. I'm 28. She sunbathes naked in my apartment balcony and is starting trouble with my girlfriend. I need some advice about how to address it. My sister moved to my place last year. I could not imagine being naked in front of my brothers. After she got fired from her job, she has a job now, but she's still living with me to save money. Anyway, I'm not sure if it matters, but we are Brazilian. My sister has always dressed very skimpy, no big deal in our culture. But then she started sunbathing in string bikinis and eventually fully naked to avoid tan lines. It's not in a overtly sexual way, obviously, but it's super weird, especially when she goes inside fully nude for a glass of water or to grab something and we cross paths and have conversations. She always covers her, nether regions with her hand in these moments, but still it's weird. She doesn't do this when there are other people around, but I casually told my girlfriend about it and she told me to put a stop to it. I think the fact that my girlfriend reacted that way is also weird because that's my sister. And it's like anything's going to happen. I don't know what to do. Can you help me think this through, dude? This is your house. Tell your sister to put some clothes on. And if she wants to go and do all of that, she needs to move out and do it at her house. There should be no ifs, ands, or buts about this. I don't know how you don't feel strange about your own sister walking around butt ass naked in front of you. That's to me is a violation. Okay? She didn't ask you if she could do that. She just did it in your house. No. Put on some fucking clothes. And if you can't do that, then get the hell out of my house. You about to make my girlfriend be be trying to leave me or something, and you are my sister, put some clothes on. I don't want to look at you like that. That's what I would have told mine. Like if I had one of my sisters, even if it was a sister of mine, I would tell her to put some fucking clothes on. Don't be walking around my house like that because you never know who I'm going to have up in here. That's a violation. Put on a swimsuit at least. That is, yeah, your sister is some kind of weird exhibitionist. I don't know what kind of freaky titillation she's getting from walking around nude in front of her brother, but that's so inappropriate. Dude, you better check her. That just doesn't even make any sense. And if you need to, call your mother and tell her what your sister's doing so she can lay into her, and your daddy too, in case you need backup, which it seems like it does, because you're trying to figure out how to make this okay. It's not okay in on any planet or in any culture. Okay, it's not okay. Man, you just let me be a girlfriend and have my man's sister walking around like that. We would be fighting like fisticuffs as I dragged her about the apartment by her hair and tossed her into her room and told her to put on not to come out till she had on some clothes. And then tell her to pack her stuff and get the fuck out. That would be me. He'd be like, "This is my house." I'm like, "I don't care. Either she leaves or I do. That's your two choices, sir." Question number 6, female, 22 to 25 from San Jose, California. Long story short, my two friends and I haven't gone out in a long time because of our work schedules and COVID. Back in June, we all agreed to go out the weekend of July 4th now that things are opening up again. Yeah, there was people was out this weekend. It was crazy. I worked hard to get this weekend off from work. It wasn't easy. I was really looking forward to going out when tonight my friends said they didn't really want to go anywhere and would rather, quote, just stay home. I offered to come over and they said, "We just want to be alone tonight." I said, "Okay, maybe we can go on Saturday instead." "No, we really don't want to," they said. Frustrated, I just stopped talking to them. It really upset me that I made effort to take this weekend off so we could all have fun, and now I'm going to be sitting at home alone all weekend. I'm really sad and I don't know what to do about our friendship going forward. Do you have any suggestions for me? You're young and your friends are still important to you and stuff like that. And I don't know what other friends you have, or these like your best friends. I don't know. You just said my two friends, so there leaves a lot of room for interpretation there. But I'm going to say this, were it me and my friends did me like that, they wouldn't be my friends anymore. That is a marked lack of respect for your time and the effort that you put into setting up time to spend with them. And if just to cancel out like that and blow you off at the last minute, even if they didn't want to go out, it would have been the most sensible thing would have been say, "Yeah, just come over. We'll do whatever here. We don't really feel like going anywhere, but we can hang out here." That would be a excellent compromise, and it sounds like you would have been happy with that because you just wanted to spend time with your friends and be around them because you haven't seen them for so long. The fact that they didn't care about seeing you and would rather just stay at home by themselves is very telling. So what I'm going to suggest to you is think about that. Think about how you felt and how they hurt you. And I would send them an email and explain all that. Don't get into name calling and all of that. Just say how disappointed you were that they treated you so callously and with such disregard for the fact that you put in so much effort and time into getting this weekend off to spend with them, and then they just blew you off and stood you up. And that, it just seems like the friendship that you thought you had isn't really there. And so you will not be in further contact with them. And, it was nice knowing you and ta ta. That's what I do. I don't do that kind of stuff. Even with a friend, I had a friend. Okay, I go to this girl's house. Okay, we supposed to be leaving. I'll just say it was 7 o'clock. Okay, we was gonna go to dinner and then we was gonna hit the club. Okay, and I get to her house. Okay, to pick her up because we had reservations at some restaurant or something. This heifer is just now getting out the shower. She's supposed to be ready so I could pick her up and we could leave. So of course we missed our dinner reservation. So then she want to go to the club. Okay, you drinking liquor and you're hungry on an empty stomach. That's not gonna work. So we still had to go and get something to eat. So then by the time we get to the club, it's like midnight. So then I only had 2 hours to get my swerve on. I was through with her. And after that, I didn't go nowhere with her. I said, "Look, you can meet me there." And then I would go with other people and I would still be having fun. If she showed up, she showed up. And if she didn't, she didn't. But that was the first and last time she got to screw up my time. You've had that happen, Lee? Oh, yeah. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. That was the only time in my entire life that I actually waited for somebody. And I did it because it was something I wanted I wanted to put myself through that because I wanted to experience it and see what it felt like. So I would know how much I hated it and so that I would never do it again. I wanted to feel all those feelings of frustration and anger and, irritation and stuff. I felt them all. And it let me know this is something I never want to feel again. I went through the whole gamut of emotions. And then I looked at her running around and just taking her sweet time and just acting like, this was no big deal. The fact that I sat there for an hour waiting for her to get ready. It could have been longer than that. I don't know. I don't remember. But I remember it was a long time since she was just getting out of the shower when I got there. She opened the door with a towel wrapped around her. And I was just astonished. Like, you're supposed to be ready, like getting your coat so we could go. And she was just finishing. So, she had to put her lotion on and all her makeup and do her hair and figure out what she was, it took like forever for her to get ready. And I'm like, okay, that's the last time. And it was. After that, I made her meet me places. Okay, so you think about that though, because this is very upsetting, especially like with me. I didn't have to go through no change. I could have got my car and drove off and went back home or something. I could have, but you went through a lot of effort, on your job involving other people. I'm sure you had to switch shifts with people and beg and all the stuff to get that weekend off, and then this is how they did you. So you think about that, and you know how you if that's a really friends to you. Let's move on to question number 7. This is a female in the 30 to 35 age group from Fort Worth, Texas. I need some advice about how to stop having feelings of regret and doing the what if thing after a dating connection fails. Recently, I went out with this guy I met off a local Facebook kayaking group. He asked me out. He was great, and the first encounter was really nice. I felt like we had a connection. We went kayaking down the local river, and we had a great time, and he was super stoked to see me again and even told me he thought I was funny and all that. We texted regularly, then met up again. This time we ate at a restaurant and we watched a game. Really nice time. And we made out and kissed at my place. And he established himself as a serious guy without ulterior intentions. I respected that. We made plans to meet up and go kayaking again. He was going to take me to a restaurant he liked. And when the night ends after we made out, I think he made a dirty joke that I totally didn't anticipate, and it just slipped out. Here we go. Nonetheless, he laughed awkwardly and kissed me goodnight and said, "See you at the river again." Okay. I texted him that night asking if he got home safe. No response, which was kind of weird. He texted me 2 to 3 times the next day, which is a bit less than normal, but did not seem unusual. Finally, communication just seemed to fizzle out. He messaged me on Facebook this morning, breaking it off and wishing me well. So I'm just racking my brain. Like the first day went well, but obviously something happened on the second that changed his mind. I know I can be a bit sarcastic sometimes, and a lot of people don't get my humor. It's mostly a cover up for low self esteem. But if he really liked me, it wouldn't have been a deciding factor, right? It's just so strange that one minute he was making plans, the next he wanted nothing to do with me. Now I really regret some things I said that I thought were harmless, but maybe he took offense. Maybe if I hadn't said that one thing, we'd still be talking and making plans to meet, and it would all fine and dandy. Ugh, I am filled with regret because I blew a chance with a really great guy. I wish I could ask him what specifically made him want to end things. Hope it was something out of my control, like he's hung up on an ex or met someone else. I hate to think that my actions ruined this. I know there's no point in dwelling on it, but geez, I feel like a fool. You should feel like a fool. You are in the 30 to 35 age group and you made a bonehead decision to say some inappropriate things to a man who is treating you extremely respectfully and well. You totally messed this up with your mouth. Okay, you said, you made a dirty joke. He laughed awkwardly. That was the end right there. Because it showed him what kind of woman you are. See, in his mind, he had put you on this pedestal of somebody who liked to do what he liked to do. You could be just not only a buddy, but a lover and a friend all in one. Dude was thinking he hit the jackpot. But here you go, making it about something else, and which would lead him to think that you just wanted a fling, that you just, that you weren't trying to have anything serious. That's how you presented yourself with that comment. Shut up next time. Don't say nothing. Keep your raggedy sense of humor to yourself. You're too old for this kind of behavior. Yeah, you messed it up. So there's no point in you, agonizing over it and worrying and stressing and all this stuff. I'm telling you what it is right now. You screwed this up by making a totally inappropriate, sexually related comment that you wanted to say is a joke. It's the same thing that men do to women. And the women get turned off and they don't want to see the dude anymore. It's the same thing. And it's worse when a dude has you like on a, I don't know, I don't want to say a pedestal, but he has a high opinion of you. He thinks that you're a woman of value, a woman of class, a quality woman, somebody he can do stuff with and maybe really go someplace and take home to meet his family and all kind of stuff. I'm sure he's thinking all this stuff because you like to kayak like he does. You guys have great conversation. All this stuff was happening. He was pursuing you, but you blew it. You blew it. She didn't say, STL, you know as much about it as we do. Okay? That's the thing. Don't ask me them kind of questions. When I read the letter, that's it. That's all I know. That's all you know. That's all we get. Okay? So we don't know what she said. But whatever she said, he laughed awkwardly, she said. And that was the moment that she killed the relationship. My goodness. Okay, so now you guys let's talk about it. So y'all want to know about my wonderful weekend. It was hot as hell. Okay. We went to Palm Springs and it was hot. He likes to golf. So he was golfing and I was sitting in the shade. And then I said, I'm going to stay over here at the hotel by the pool. So that's what I did while he golfed. But the rest of the time we was together, it was fun. It was nice. I don't know, it was just nice to get away. But it was hot as hell. That's all I can say. It was hot. I feel like I melted a couple of times and then got refrigerated and put back together. But yes. Yeah, a lot of people barbecued. So then I was with him Friday and Saturday, right? So then we came back Sunday. So I'm at my cousin's house Sunday and I came back home on Monday. So my cousin barbecued on Sunday. So I, got some of that. Yes, I did get in the pool. I had to put my hair up in a thing, and I put my little fat self in the swimming pool. I sure did, because it was hot. It was hot. Yes. Yes, but I'm trying to lose weight. All my COVID weight and with being on crutches and stuff for a year, I couldn't really move that well. Like not really exercising, but I am now. Girl, please don't worry about it, Sue, because it's not like it's gonna be no, grand love thing or nothing. He was cool and all of that, but I'm not. I don't think I really want a boyfriend. I don't. It's too much work. Cause then they just be like, they wanna. Yeah, I was down for a year. It was last January when I took that tumble down the stairs and was on crutches and had that boot on my foot and stuff. And then I re-injured myself in September and started the shit all over again. So it's really been about 17 months that I have been limping. It's been terrible. So, y'all don't know. I mean, I don't get on the show and talk about it, but your friend over here has gone through it the last year. Not to mention with all the COVID stuff, but I mean, my leg, my knee, my ankle, all kind of fucked up. Yeah, he's very cute, very sexy, all of that, smart and all that. But it's the kind of thing like when you have to be ready for that kind of I don't want to say intrusion, that's a mean word. You have to be ready to share your life with somebody like that, to let them in. And I'm aware enough of where I am right now. I don't want to do that. I don't want to make time for somebody else. I'm very selfish with my time. I have all these projects I want to do, books I want to finish, stuff I want to do. And I'll make time here and there, but I don't want a consistent person that I have to respond to and care about and be there for and all that stuff. I'm not in that space right now. And so, I mean, I'll hang out with them here and there, but um, not even too much of that because I don't want people to have expectations. I just don't want to. I just want to be free. to be me, like they used to say on that kitty show. Yeah, we do too much work. Then they want you to call, they want to talk to you all the time and they ask you about a bunch of stuff. And I just don't want to. I just don't feel like it. So that's just the way it is. But I did have fun. It was a nice break. But is it the kind of thing I would want to do all the time? No. Would I want to be, hanging with him all the time and having him around every day? No. Oh, absolutely not. So, but one good thing is like he's a very independent, because he wasn't like whining about me being with him and stuff. He went off and played his golf and stuff, and came back and it was cool, So that part, he understands me about my alone time and stuff, and he wasn't bothering me about it. So it was cool. It was a very very nice weekend. Okay, let's move on to question number. Where was I? Oh, 8. This is a young man in the 26 to 29 age group from Charlotte, North Carolina. I poured my heart out to a girl and was ultimately humiliated for it, and I need some advice. My best friend of 10 years has always been the girl of my dreams. She randomly distanced herself, and it started to seem like our friendship was over. So one day I said, fuck it, and told her everything about how I was feeling. She blocked me on every social media. Wow! And made a TikTok out of my pretty much essay of how I felt. Oh, wow. Now that was uncalled for. I'm so hurt right now, and I just needed to tell someone who I hope can help me figure out what to think and do going forward. Okay, let's look at this. Right here in the, let's see, 1, 2, the third sentence. Quote, she randomly distanced herself and it started to seem like our friendship was over. That was the clue that you ignored not to bother her. Okay, so anything that you did after that, see, and you chose you were fully aware of it. So you can't say, I didn't know, I didn't understand, I didn't get it, I didn't know she wasn't talking to me anymore. You put it right here. So you understood what was happening. But you chose to put the mash on her anyway and told her everything about how you were feeling. Now, why did you do that? Normally, people do that because they expect something in return. So you expected to tell her that how you felt, and you expected her to be like a Harlequin romance novel or something. Oh my God, I didn't realize that you felt that way about me. Yes, I'm so sorry for ghosting you. Let's get together. Let's be boyfriend girlfriend. I like you too. That's what you was hoping for. Like some kind of Grimm's fairy tale happily ever after story. And instead she put the smash on you. Because you know why? Because she had already tried to distance herself from you. And then you just keep pressing her. So she put the smash on you to make you leave her alone. So even though that was very rude, I wouldn't have gone that far. It seems like you needed that in order for you to get a clue that this girl does not want to be bothered with you. Okay? I don't know what you did or said that made her distance herself after all these years of friendship, but you did something, sir. You did or said something that you shouldn't have done or said. If you think about it real hard, I'm sure you'll figure it out. Yes. Yes, thanks, Sarah. Yeah, I am. I can actually walk around now a little bit. And yeah, after I got out the crutches and the boot, I had to use a cane. It's been a mess. I have been a mess. Been in therapy for months. I mean, it's just been awful. So now I can finally walk. Um, I can finally walk. Not fast or anything, but I can walk without any kind of assistance devices. And hopefully, after a couple of more months, I had hoped by my birthday, but I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe by Christmas, I'll be able to put on some cute heels and a fly dress and actually look the role. Okay, that's what I'm hoping. So let's move on and talk about these rest of these folks. We got question number 9. This is a female in the 21 to 25 age group from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm 24 and my boyfriend is 22. We've been together for almost 2 years. I love this man and I want to marry him and start a family. At 22, you tripping. I'm ready for it, but I don't think he is. When I ask him about kids, he says he doesn't want them for at least a few more years. We've talked about children and marriage. He always says when we get married before, so I don't think he's completely against it. I feel he's just not ready. I don't want to give ultimatums, but I genuinely feel like if he's not ready for kids and marriage, I should move on. I feel like I'm in my prime for children and I would like to have them soon. I don't know if I'm overreacting, and should I just wait for him to be ready? What do you recommend? No, you don't wait. First of all, you're 24 years old. You should be dating a man closer to 30 if you want to have, marriage and kids and stuff, not somebody younger than you. A 22-year-old is like a kid in a grown body. His mind is not ready for the responsibilities and obligations and commitments of a marriage and to be a father. He's not mature enough yet. You're trying to put him on this, have him wear a hat for a role he's not prepared for. You're being very foolish. Okay? Break up with him because he's too young. And get with somebody who's, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, something like that. That's what you need. A guy who is ready. And a guy who's going to be, he'll see you, your 24-year-old self, and he'll be happy. He'll be like, yay, I'm getting married. I'm going to have some kids. And then you'll be happy. That's what you want, right? So you got to find a man who's on that page. You don't try to force somebody who is as young as this guy is. He's a kid. And try to put him in that. And don't you dare do any trick like try to get yourself pregnant or any dumb shit like that. Don't do that to him and don't do it to yourself. And definitely don't do it to the baby. Just leave him alone and go and find somebody else. There's plenty of men out there in that age group looking for somebody. This is ridiculous. Because even if you did get yourself pregnant, you're going to think that's going to try to force his hand. You know what's going to happen? He's going to leave you and that kid. And you're going to be sitting up there looking stupid. We're trying to, run around trying to collect child support and get him to, trying to make him see the kid. He's like, I don't want to see that kid. I done told you I wasn't ready and didn't want to be a father. And for a few years. And then after a few years, he might be ready to see the child. But in the meantime, the kid's going to be 4 or 5 years old with no relationship with his father. Why would you do that to somebody? You already know. You're 24. Get out of this situation and get you somebody else. Oh, my goodness. Let's move on. Question 10, female, 30 to 36 from London. I've recently reconnected with a guy I was talking to about 3 years ago. Why? And since we've been talking again, it's been great. Very easy, comfortable, and natural. We get on so well, but ... He's expecting a baby next month with another woman. Oh. He's been completely honest about it from the beginning, and it was only a short fling, so there's no chance of them getting together. But I don't know what to do. I haven't got any kids of my own, although I do want to in the future, and this will be his first. And I think because of the unknown, I just can't stop thinking about it. How it might impact our relationship. How complicated it could make everything. What should I be considering while I make this decision? You should be considering that he's going to be somebody's daddy. And all the energy and time that he's spending looking at you is time and energy he needs to be preparing a room for his kid and buying diapers, reading books on parenting and fatherhood, thinking about what kind of father he's going to be, learning how to change diapers, make formula, planning how he's going to raise his child. That's the kind, how he's going to co-parent with the baby mama, child support, setting up a budget. That's the kind of stuff he should be thinking about, right? He should be thinking about tapping you. You should not be thinking about anything about him because he's about to be somebody's daddy. And you're not involved with that situation. You weren't there making that baby. So you reconnected with somebody that you talked to 3 years ago. I don't know why people want to go backwards. It didn't work out then. It's not going to work out now, as you see. So you just wasted time. So this is what you do. You say, what should you be considering when you're going to make decisions? You're not going to consider anything. You're going to repeat after me. You're going to say, dude, it was very nice running into you again and all that good old stuff there. But, I feel that your responsibilities lie in a different direction. I don't have any children and I don't want to be involved with someone who does have some, especially an infant. Your pocket's about to get tapped for child support. I don't want to be in any situation where you're going to be short on money and you're going to be looking at me to fill in the blanks. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be visiting you with no screaming ass child. You ain't bringing no snotty nose diaper pooping no thing to my house. Your baby mama drama that you about to have, you're going to be dealing with that by yourself. All of those things are a big just no. So just leave me alone, lose my number. That's what you're going to tell him. Okay? Exactly. That's what they always do. Whenever they be trying to get some girlfriend while they have some baby on the way. So she get all in the cook and crook and he can move in with her stuff. And then when he get tapped for that $800 a month child support, she'll be the one paying the rent and helping him pay his child support or his car note and all this old stuff. You think I don't know them tricks? He's a big just no. Exactly. He is just Girl, I don't even understand why you were even talking to him. The second he told me that, he would have been like, hello? Hello? Because I would have hung up. It's like, oh, no, no. Let's move on. Question number 11. Male, 26 to 29 from Jackson, Mississippi. My girlfriend and I have been dating for 10 months. Due to her being in school, she's 21, I'm 29. Ooh, that's a pretty good age gap. She doesn't have money for any type of down payment. My girlfriend wants her name on my mortgage. Oh, I bet she does. Even though she won't put a dime of money into the pot. I don't know how to feel about this. I would hate it if something were to happen and we end up breaking up and she has half of the house while I put down tens of thousands of dollars. She says she wants her name on it to give her security. In the back of my mind, it just doesn't feel right. However, after we buy the house, he put we plan on splitting bills 50-50. What should I do? You should not move her into your house. Okay, you, sir, are about to be hella stupid. I mean, like hella stupid. First of all, you buy your house and you don't put her name, your mama's name, your cat's name, your dog's name, nobody's name on your mortgage or your deed but yours. Okay. Now she gonna talk about she want to move in. If she does that, you make her sign a quick claim deed. Talk to an attorney about this and get your mind right because you about to fuck up your life. Okay, you worked hard. Evidently, you're only 29 years old buying the house and you saved all this money, right? You. If you did this, you would be stupid, like hella stupid. So you tell her you're gonna sign a quick claim deed, or you're not moving in. You're not even spending the night here. Okay, I'll come to your house, and then um, if she breaks off, she decides to break up or whatever, then it's fine. She gonna leave with exactly what she came with. No, he said 50-50 for the bills. But see, one thing you don't want, that's why you got to have her sign a quick claim deed. Because then if she want to pay, you have her paying, I don't know, she make her pay something else. Make her pay the water bill and the light bill or something and the cable bill. You don't have her paying anything that has to do with that house. You don't let her buy nothing for the house. Everything all the window treatments, the carpets, the rugs, the dishes, the stuff on the wall, anything like that, paints and all that stuff, you supply that. She could put up a few pictures of some posters or some shit, some curtains or something, anything that she could take with her when she leaves. You let her buy that. But anything that's affixed to your property, you don't let her do that because then she can do a mechanics lien on your house and have a claim on your property. Don't be stupid. Please take a moment to do what I said and have a consultation with an attorney before you do anything so that you protect your rights and you handle this like you have some damn sense. Yeah, she trying to play him. Oh, man, if this was my son, I would be calling. See, what's that little bitch's name? And call her up and tell her something. But if it was my son, I'd be like, no, you going to break up with her because she's a scheming little snake and you stupid. Question number 12. Female, 30 to 36 from Atlanta. Dear Auntie Deb, thank you for choosing my letter. Sorry this is long. My boyfriend, baby daddy, and I are both 30. He is what I thought was the love of my life. We have a 3-year-old son together, and as far as our relationship, he's everything a woman could ask for. Loving, kind, affectionate, except he is a high-functioning alcoholic. You had a baby by an alcoholic? We met in high school and reconnected as adults and fell madly in love. Before we had our son, we both did our share of partying and drinking together. But becoming parents changed us both for the better, and I slowly put the bottle and the party life down as I simply had to choose being a parent first. Due to health scare regarding my thyroid, I made the decision to totally quit drinking and join the gym. I'm losing weight, I'm looking amazing, my confidence on life has taken a total 360, and you mean 180, and my thyroid levels are normal. My boyfriend, on the other hand, who is a truck driver, has every excuse as why he can't work out after I bought him a jump rope and offered to do meal prep for him. On the days he's home, he's drinking from sunup to sundown. Wow. He doesn't go out and party, just sits in the house and drinks. Wow. And you guys are young for this. You're both 30. He does drive under the influence when he runs day-to-day errands. He's not belligerent or abusive or throwing up all over the place. But I'm unattracted to his liquor, cigarette smoking, and always horny, loud snoring, trying to. Okay. And he could lose his license and career due to his DUI. I'm so against his drinking, I voiced to him as a turnoff and even threatened to leave when our lease is up. He claims once he saves enough money to buy his own truck, he can be home every day, that he'll stop drinking, join the gym, and he wants to get married. Hmm. He's been taking steps to start his business, but probably a year until he officially gets things going. Okay, then. He is willing to do couples counseling, which we start in 3 weeks, but I'm worried this won't work. What are some ultimatums or scare tactics I can use to let him know I'm serious about leaving if I don't see changes, or should I just call it quits? Well, you done saved up. I skipped something that's probably important here because she just wrote like everything in the world. I secretly saved up more than enough money for a down payment on a house for when our lease is up. The house will be mine and in my name only, and I refuse to have a drunk living under my roof. Very good. Okay. Then she followed that up with the couples counseling thing. I'm gonna say this: you spend all this time with a man, and you got a kid by him, and you all supposed to be so madly in love and all this old shit here. Go to the counseling. Okay, go to the counseling and see what comes of it, because you need to feel comfortable and sure about whatever decision that you make. I can't tell you what to do because then you, oh, but that's my baby daddy, and you'll have all these emotions associated with it. You need to go to the counseling because you need to see and hear what this man is about, and where he is, and what kind of things a professional can, see. But I'm not seeing him. I'm only hearing what you said, and I don't want to really make too much of a judgment. There's something that's bothering this guy for him to be only 30 years old and this far left. There's something wrong. And you need to find out what that is and if it's fixable. Now, if you want to stay with him after you guys go through the therapy and he makes a concerted effort to get off, to get off the bottle and do all the stuff, well, then you could give him a chance. Continue to keep your money in a separate account, and so you can bust a move if you need to. However, if you go to counseling and you arrive at the conclusion that this is hopeless, that he's whatever's bothering him, he doesn't want to talk about it. He just wants to drink, drinking and self-medicate with booze, then there's no future here for you or your child. And I caution you also, since you know that he drives drunk, do not let him have your child in the car by himself. Okay, don't let him be in the driver of any situation where your child is at this man's mercy. I'm telling you that now because you are aware, you wrote it here. There's evidence that you are aware that he drives as a drunk. If you give him a situation where he has control over your child and kills your child, guess who's going to jail? It won't just be him. It's going to be you for endangering the life of a child with full knowledge that this is what could have happened. So you be very careful about this, okay? Because a lot of women are getting prosecuted for this kind of stuff, and I think it's with just cause. You would have put your child in that dangerous, life-risky situation for whatever reason you would have. I don't know why women would do that. Hell would freeze over before somebody would take my baby and you drunk behind the wheel. We're not doing that. But I'm telling you, watch what you do and watch his access to your child, and get your butt into therapy and arrive at a conclusion. And then whatever happens from therapy, that's when you decide if you're going to go or stay. I don't want to tell you that um, because of the fact that you have such a young child and you guys are so young. Okay. Take your time making this decision, because whatever decision you make is going to be a permanent one. So take your time making it, but protect your child. Move on to question number 13. This is a young man in the 21 to 25 age group from Moreno Valley, California. I need advice about my potty mouth girlfriend. Is he dating me? No. I so I'm 22 and I've been dating this girl who's 21 for about 8 months now. We both enjoy playing video games in our spare time. For transparency, we are both white. I wanted to write to you though because recently I've been feeling really uncomfortable whenever I play anything competitive with her. Okay, okay. Maybe he'll explain more later. She's constantly swearing and saying things like "suck my" and racist slurs. Oh, okay. I see why you wrote me. Racist slurs to the enemy team, which has black members in it, which kind of make me view her in a different light. It just makes me incredibly scared to see this side of her to make it clear she's not being mean to me. I've never been around anyone who does or says things like this. I mentioned this to her before, but she's continued to tell me how it's not that serious because it's just a gamer thing. I don't know how to approach this situation anymore. I've been flaming her to show her it's not right, but this completely backfired because she's into it. Do you have any suggestions or advice? Yes, break up with her. Yeah, you see, Lee was ahead of me on that one. Usually I pick up on stuff, but I was like, okay, well, why is he writing me? I guess that's why he chose to write to me. Sir, I'm gonna tell you this. At 21 years of age, this she sees a black person on the screen from the other team, or however y'all do it, and she opts to start calling them racial slurs. I want you to understand something and be real clear about this. Only racists use racial slurs. Okay? And I know y'all, my daughter used to do, she have speakers, right? Because they're talking to each other. So they can hear her. They can hear her. I'm gonna tell you this. You found that this is what dating, this is why people should date. Because you don't rush into stuff. You date them and then layer by layer this kind of stuff comes to show itself. Thanks, Angelica. It shows itself and you get to find out who it is that you're dating on deeper and deeper levels. You know that you have never heard anybody say or do anything like this. That means that this is not the kind of stuff that your family does because otherwise you would have been exposed to it before, right? That's why you're all shocked and appalled. So I'm going to tell you this. You might have been dating her for 8 months, but what you need to do is get rid of this girl before opens up and says something to the wrong person, and then both of y'all be in a fight for your lives because it's a whole bunch of black folks that's not going to take this kind of stuff. You get in their face and start or saying anything like that around them, you're going to get a beat down, and it won't be nothing you can do because your mouth would have committed a hate crime. Okay, so now they attacking you and beating your ass. That's self-defense. You see where I'm going with this? She could get you in a world of trouble. Get yourself away from this girl. Okay, just tell her, you've seen a side of her that you just really don't like. And you can see that you two have values that are very, very different and that that kind of stuff would not pass with your family. And it's important to you to have somebody that your family can like and respect just like you do. And so this is it for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even if you don't have black friends, if she slips, let something slide, and the wrong person hears it, she's gonna get her ass kicked. And then of course he's gonna feel like, well, I have to defend her because it's my girlfriend, and then you gonna get your ass kicked too. So the best thing to prevent ass kickings galore is to get yourself away from somebody who thinks it's okay to talk about people like this. This is not okay on any level. Is this okay? Okay. So you deny her the privilege of being with you because she's not the kind of quality young lady that you need to have. Man, I know you don't want to hear this, but this is what you need to do. I'm sorry, sir, but I'm trying to save you because I'm telling you, if she gonna say that to the wrong person, and you gonna be running for your life. Question number 14, female, 36 to 39, from Bradford, West Yorkshire, in the UK. My daughter is 13, and I've been married to my husband since she was 3. He has always been there for her as a great stepdad rather. My daughter's room is downstairs, and even though she is now 13, he still goes downstairs every night to sleep next to her after I fall asleep at 3 a.m., and he comes back every morning. Hell to the no. I know nothing is going on, and my daughter's completely comfortable around him. She says nothing but good things. However, she is 13 now and doesn't need a grown adult sleeping next to her every night. I told him how I felt and that he doesn't need to do that anymore, but all he says is, "You can't tell me what to do," and disregards how I feel. He always turns it around on me and makes me look like I'm crazy for thinking this way. Deb, my daughter will be 14 in early October. How long will he be doing this? I just feel really uncomfortable about the whole thing for some reason. She isn't 5 anymore. Am I wrong for feeling this way? Am I overreacting? No, you're underreacting. You should have put a stop to this shit a long time ago. What is wrong with you? No grown man, no stepfather needs to be sleeping in the bed with a little girl. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. Okay, let me tell you how wrong this is. He's sleeping down, tipping down there at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he don't sleep with his wife. He sleeps with the stepdaughter. She's a teenager now, so that means what's it mean? Her body's changed. She getting boobs and hips and stuff. So he's used to sleeping in the bed with her, so he gonna be grabbing her, thinking it's you, right? That's gonna be his excuse. Touching her inappropriately. Oh, because I was sleepy and I forgot where I was. That's gonna be his excuse. So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna call a locksmith, and you're going to have a lock installed on your daughter's door. You're going to tell, she's going to be the kind where she has to turn it or do something. I don't know. You could get a recommendation what she needs to keep people from coming in her room. That's what you're going to install there. And then the stepfather, don't tell her. And then when she goes to bed, you tell her to lock the door and not to open it until she gets up in the morning and gets ready to, come upstairs. And that's how she needs to sleep every night, because you say it's inappropriate for the stepfather to be sleeping in the bed with you. You're a teenager now. You're a young lady. And it's not appropriate for a grown man to be sleeping in the bed with you. I don't care what he says. I don't care how comfortable you are. His motherfucking ass don't need to be in the bed with you. Okay, that's what you tell your daughter. Then you put the lock on the door. Then you tell your raggedy husband, like, look, you say I can't tell you what to do. I can tell you everything to do because that's my goddamn daughter. Mine. Okay, you're my husband, but you're not nothing to her. And I'm going to tell you this. You go down to her room one more time, and you watch what's going to happen to you. If I don't shoot you, you're going to prison. And don't let me take her and get her some kind of exam and find out that you've been touching her inappropriately in any kind of way. Because then I'm going to have you underneath the prison. But saying, but on the other hand, but you would have brought all of this on by being stupid. The first time he did this, you should have said no. You're going to bring your ass back upstairs and you're not going to be doing anything, sleeping anywhere with my daughter. That's so inappropriate. I'm sure he has. And the baby probably was asleep and didn't even know what was going on. Or she's so used to him touching all over her at this point that she doesn't even know that it's wrong, because you, as the dumb mama, never explained this to her about who shouldn't be touching her and why they shouldn't be touching her and stuff like that. Girl, if you don't tell me what to do, he would have got bopped upside the head if I didn't go and get Roscoe and start shooting at him. You're not going to tell me what I can't tell you about my goddamn kid. He's like protecting his prize trophy child that he wants to fiddle with. That's what he's doing. And he can see that you're weak and stupid. Lady, get the lock tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow you get the lock installed while he's at work. You show your daughter how to use it. You can get her the kind with the key. Put the key in the lock. Make sure she understands to take the key with her when she leaves so he can't get another one made. But those are kind of like, if you stick the key, if there's a key in it already, the other key from the outside can't even go in there. But I don't know. They have new kind of locks now. So you figure out which kind that she's going to need. It might be the combination kind. Who knows? I don't know what you're going to do. But you go and talk to a locksmith about it and explain the situation. You want to be able to keep people out of her room so she can sleep safely and uninterrupted, and they'll make recommendations. And then, yeah, she's going to be 14 years old. So, she getting her little boobies and all that stuff. Nah, this dude, this dude is so suspect. Yeah, she probably has. And like I said, if he started when she was a little kid, she doesn't know any different. She doesn't even know that it's wrong. That's the number one thing here. Yeah, I would be divorced, but I'm telling you, I would probably be in jail because I would have been shooting at him or bopping him with something and caved the inside of his side of his head. But if it was me, by the time he wandered downstairs, if he didn't come back, I would have went downstairs and said, "Get your ass upstairs. You're not gonna be staying down here with my daughter. What the fuck? You married to me. That's the bed you sleeping in." And if he didn't like it, then we would get a divorce on the spot. But that's the danger, when you have daughters. You just never know what your stepfather, boyfriends, all these kind of stuff, all these people, uncles, they all be suspect to me. Well, she says the daughter only says good things, but the mother might not be asking the right questions. Just like a computer, you only gonna get an answer out based on what you input. So if you say, okay, where is he touching you at night? What do you guys do while you're laying in the bed? What does he say to you? See, she has to ask questions like that. And then she can get the right kind of answers. But if she's waiting for the girl to volunteer, she's not going to say nothing. She might be feeling threatened. Who knows? But you need to ask specific questions to get the right answers. Question number 15. This is a female in the 26 to 29 age group from Liverpool, England. So I started seeing a guy that I met online 3 weeks ago. He is charming and acted the role of the perfect gentleman. He insisted on paying for everything, even my parking ticket, and insisted on doing the same for our dates. He brought me flowers every time and invested in a dressing gown, towel set, toothbrush, and hot water bottle for his flat for when I eventually stayed. I thought it was all sweet. He seemed very nervous, too. In 3 weeks, he's doing all that? Last weekend, we were supposed to meet, but I got rushed to a hospital with kidney stones, and I was hospitalized over the weekend. He was very worried and begged to come and see me, but I said there was no point because of COVID restrictions. He then told me that he wanted to come and camp outside the hospital in his car, and then said that he'd been talking to a nurse who worked in the same hospital and how they weren't allowed to keep me in A&E, accident and emergency, for over 12 hours, blah, blah. I told him that I was in the right place, but felt unsettled by him having conversations with the nurse about me and did not know if they were sharing details. I have ongoing mental health issues that I don't want discussed and was worried that this nurse would be telling him. When I came home on Sunday, I was tired and sick, and he kept asking to come and see me. I felt awful, so I said no. He proceeded to send me messages every 30 minutes, and on Monday, I woke up to a huge batch of flowers and a teddy bear on my doorstep. Then he started to get coffees arriving throughout the day. Okay, this guy. I could not rest or relax because the doorbell kept ringing. He sent me pictures of all the gifts he was buying me, bath salts, bubble baths, ornaments, statues, etc. He said they were all waiting for me. It got to be too much. On Tuesday, I ventured out to get some milk and suddenly got inundated with calls from him. It turned out there was yet another coffee on the doorstep, and he wanted to know where I was. When I said I popped out for some milk, he went quiet and didn't say anything. Then I got more coffees. I felt claustrophobic and it set off my anxiety massively. I felt panicked and sickened. I told him that I needed some space because it was too much. He got sad and said that he'd ordered me lots of gifts for the next day and told me he'd throw them in the bin. He kept saying that he didn't understand what he'd done so wrong and that he was just trying to be the boyfriend that I deserved. He kept asking me where he stands and I kept telling him I already told him. I haven't spoken to him since, and he still does not understand what he has done wrong. It feels like he just won't get it. It also turns out that he's been in prison for manslaughter. He attacked someone for hitting his previous girlfriend, or so he says. He told me this on the second date, and I am not a judgmental person, but I started worrying that these behaviors are dangerous. Some of my friends think he's just being caring, but others are saying run a mile. I have put the brakes on, but I'm wondering what you and the squad think. Deb, I have a horrible habit or history of attracting abusive partners, so I'm very, very worried that this is another instance of that, but maybe I'm worrying too much. No, you're not worrying enough. You're not worrying enough. See, this thing here, okay, it started with, you know, bought me flowers each time and invested in a dressing gown, towel set, toothbrush, and hot water bottle for when I eventually stayed. Nah. See, Deb would have been looking, giving him all kind of side eye just on that alone. It's like you don't even know if I'm going to see you another time, let alone come spend the night at your house. What you doing? You doing too much. You need to slow your roll, homeboy. But Keith said he was a silly serial killer. You know Keith don't have no sense. All I know is, just the flowers every time, that's too much. Once, here and there, that's enough. But all these sending you 900 things and stuff, he's like obsessive and just like a stalker. And gonna be asking you where you were when you went out to get some milk. See, me is like, where are you? I'm where I'm at. God damn it! You don't ask me where I am. You ain't my fucking daddy. That's what he would have got from me. To be, don't ever. I just tell every man I've ever dated, don't ever ask me where I am. Because if I wanted you to know, I would have told you. Other than that, if I'm where someplace and I didn't tell you where I am, that means I don't want you to know, so don't ask me. Yeah, they do. These dudes be getting out of pocket, trying to tell somebody something and trying to command and control. You better try that somewhere else because that ain't happening here. Oh my God. This is just too much. Um, you did good to break up with him. It's unfortunate that he knows where you live, but I guess most people would do that after 3 weeks of dating. But this guy was just so weird and creepy, girl. You got to get your alarm bells should have been ringing way earlier than this. Your friend shouldn't have needed to tell you that something was off about this guy and his behavior is not normal. Okay, this is not normal behavior. This is somebody who's obsessive and controlling. So, and this manslaughter thing, shit. I hope you can get you a gun. Wait, where are you again? Oh, wait, that's the wrong letter. Liverpool, England. Well, I don't know what they do about handguns over there, but um, you need to get you something. Question number 16. This is a female in the 40-45 age group from Sacramento, California. Hey, everyone. Thank you, Candace, for choosing my letter. I just turned 40 and I've gone out like 5 times with a 45-year-old man that I really like. He says he really likes me as well. These 5 dates have occurred over the course of 6 weeks. We probably text each other maybe 5 times a day, sometimes with general stuff, but often with questions about activities or how they feel about deeper issues. I feel like this is not a lot of contact. However, in my former marriage, my ex would text me upwards of 100 times a day. Okay, so you have one from one extreme to the other. And we went from being friends to being together literally every day as a couple. I can't say that either is right or wrong, although my ex has been diagnosed with narcissistic tendencies. I would appreciate some perspective on how your successful dating relationships began and evolved, or what you recommend as best practices for early dating. That is too long for here, but I will try to make some recommendations for some videos that you can watch. One is called The Man Behind the Mask. It gives you some ideas for things to discuss and ask a man on the first, well, like first and second date, to get an idea if there should be a third and if this should advance to something more. It goes into deeper levels than, oh, what kind of movie you like? What kind of movie you like? Where you going on vacation? What's the last book you read? Okay. These questions that I suggest that you ask are things that delve into how a man thinks, what his morals are, what his values are, what his opinions are about women. Okay, things like that, deeper level things, so that you can see if you have some conflicts on a moral or value level, which will basically rule your relationship and determine its success or failure rate, like right off the bat. Okay. But if you don't ask the right questions, again, like computers, garbage in, garbage out, you have to put in the right data, which for you would be the right questions to get the right information out, which would be the right answers. You've got to ask the questions that are going to give you the information that you need to make a proper determination about this man's suitability for you long term. So that's one. There are some other videos about, pacing a relationship. From what I'm seeing here, 1 week, 5 dates over a 6 week period, that's not a lot of contact. And that indicates that he's seeing other people and he's really not serious about anything with you. So that's not somebody that you would invest emotion in, because a man who could see you one time every 6 weeks, you just entertain is something to do. Okay. Because when they be really into you, they want to be in your face every time you turn around. They like, into your face. So I would recommend that you, just cut this loose. Cut this loose and meet a guy who's, a little bit more into you, is willing to spend more time and energy getting to know you. This little basic level texting and, one date every, 10 days or something, that's nothing to invest in. Yeah, 5 dates over 6 weeks. For people in their 30s, 40s. Yeah, no. Okay, question number 17, female, 30 to 36, out to UK. I would value your opinion about a relationship with a man I've been apart from a lot during lockdown and I'm seeing now with fresher eyes. We went away for a night to the seashore. It was my first night away since October 2019. I was so pleased. Whenever we stayed in a hotel, he insisted we change rooms. There's always something wrong with the one that we are given first. He always waits until I have unpacked, and I find it mortifying watching him trying to press the staff into giving us a quote better room when the one that we had is perfectly nice, and having to listen to him trying to barter with the manager. When we're having dinner, at some point he decides the view is better from my seat and wants to change chairs or move his chair around to sit next to me. He will make the staff move everything on the table. I hate it. In our room, thinking I would enjoy the hotel bathroom and have a lovely bath, I knew he wouldn't leave me alone. He would come into the bathroom, try to take photos of me. He knows I don't want that and pretends he thinks it's a joke. He will criticize and then pretend he isn't. Example, we arrived and I mentioned wanting to have some tea. He said, "Of course you do," in a cold, dismissive way, as if he were annoyed. If I respond, he just says, "Well, I just said, of course you do," and denies that he was being critical. I hope you can understand what I mean. We've been together for years, but we don't live together, and we were apart during the lockdown. We've spent some time together in the past few months, but I don't feel very happy. This right this night away just seemed to display something about him I think I've been ignoring. I would really like to know what you and the ladies of the squad think about this. Thank you, honey. Let me tell you. Okay, Tansy is right out there with it. He crazy. Girlfriend, this COVID thing, has really been a godsend for women. It kept us from being accosted on the street by dusties because everybody was off the streets because everybody was at home, right? Because you wasn't going out because of COVID. So, all this, why don't you smile? And, hey, Miss Lady, Miss Thing, and all that stuff. That wasn't happening because everybody was at home. So that was a nice break. The other problem is that, women, from having spent all this time either apart or 24 hours, 24/7 with somebody, got to see a different side of the men that they were dating or married to. There have been a lot of breakups and divorces post COVID because people didn't like what they saw. They got to see that, who this person really was in a heated moment, and they decided, "Oh, I'm out. I'm out of here." Yeah, I'm wearing masks too. And so it's like, there's so many breakups and stuff now, it's not even funny. But I'm going to tell you this. You've known these things about him all this time, and yet you hate him so much. Why did you stay in this relationship? See, the first thing he said, "Well, I want to change room," I would have said, "No, we're not changing rooms. We're not changing rooms. You always bitching and moaning and complaining about something. Take your shit out the suitcase and lay your ass down. I'm not changing my stuff. We're not moving." And he want to change seats, I would have got up from my table, from the table, and left. We're not doing that. So you had a lot of power and influence here that you didn't really use. You just let him just steamroll you. And I'm not understanding why you did that. Why you allowed yourself to be treated like this. You know? I don't understand. But you're seeing some this is who he is. So either you accept it and deal with it or you leave. Those are your only two choices. Yeah, this dude is just yeah, that's taking the pictures of her nude and stuff. What's he trying to do with that? Just such boundary violations. This guy, he's just a loser. I don't know how you stood it. Because the first time he did something, he don't take a picture. You know what happened? His phone would have been in the bathtub, all fucked up. And it's like, well, that's what you get. I told you not to take pictures of me. I didn't give you permission to take any nudes of me. Well, like what does he want to do with those pictures? No. Let's move on. Question number 18. Female, 40 to 45 from Patterson, New Jersey. This may seem like a ridiculous question for some of my age. I'm 44. But I need to know, what is the best way to break up with someone? Meaning, what are the best words to use? I haven't done this in a long time. He's a great guy, but he's just unendingly needy and is driving me crazy. He texts all day long, has gotten incredibly serious super fast, and constantly pushes boundaries with me. When I'm unable to spend time with him because I have a full-time job and 3 small children, he always comments on how he understands, but he's sad. I've had visitors for a holiday the past week and it's really bothered him to not spend more time with me, even though I invited him over twice. We've been dating just 2 months. I find all of this exhausting. So what is the best thing to say in a situation like this? I don't want to give him the opportunity for argument, but also be crystal clear that this is the decision I'm sticking to. Deb, unlike you, I have a lot of difficulty with hurting people's feelings and have a pit in my stomach just thinking about this conversation. I'd rather give him as little detail as possible. What would you say? Well, then, in a situation like that, it's only been 2 months, then just ghost him. If you can't figure out how to find the words, it's called block and delete. Okay? And then it's a ghost thing. You don't never talk to him again. He'll get the message. The other thing is, other than that, then you could just tell him, just say, look, this isn't working. This isn't working for me. You want more than what I can give you. And I'm not interested in giving you what you want. You can just throw that in if you want to. But otherwise, just stop after the first part and say, so I'm not going to see you anymore. Bye-bye. And that's it. I don't understand why you feel like, you have to make this whole big speech. That's the part about it, though, because that's why I like to ghost people because, then like you try to give them an explanation, right? You be trying to like, be all logical and considerate of their feelings and, explain and give them closure and all this old fancy stuff that people like to talk about. I don't care about anything like that. I just want you out of my life, out of my face, off my phone. That's what I want. And so I'm going to take the most expeditious route to that, which is usually ghosting. And if not, then I'm going to cuss you out. And if not, I'm going to tell you get lost, that nobody wants you here, that you stupid, ugly, a waste of life, all kind of stuff I'll say. But usually I just ghost them and just disappear. So to the point where they see me out a few months later, you just stop talking to me. Yeah, I sure did. Well, why? What did I do? Why does it matter? It's over. That's all you need to focus on. And then I just walk off. Like, I'm not be going to no big explanation and trying to defend my decision to you. Who the fuck are you? I don't care what you think. I don't care what you like. I don't care what you want. What you need from me, closure and all that stuff, you're never going to get it. Your best bet is just to pretend I never existed. There's your closure. You never met me. I was a figment of your imagination. Okay, that would be your best bet. Let's move on. Question 19, female, 45 to 50 from Visalia, California. Deb, I am thinking that older guys are looking for a nursemaid at this point. Do you agree? That's what y'all always talking about, a nurse and a purse. I am currently 43 and find that a lot of men are looking to settle down once they hit the age where they have specific medical conditions like hypertension, joint issues, etc. It feels like a lot of men are looking for someone to be in the role of caregiver or health manager after they ho-hopped around their entire lives from woman to woman, many of them dropping babies along the way. Most of the guys I've come across say they have never been married, though some are divorced. I find it really unattractive when I'm on a date and have to hear about these hidden complications. Am I the only one who has noticed this? Oh no, we talk about this all the time. We talk about this all the time. It's like, yeah, the ladies call it a nurse with a purse, because that's what these old dudes are looking for. After they have wasted their whole life, and they had a nerve to be talking about women hit the wall at 30 and all this kind of stuff. Then why you be up in somebody's face trying to get them to come and be with you so they can be your nursemaid, your old fart? Get out of here, old broken down piece of something. I'm like, this is ridiculous. But you're right. That's what they do. And then they be having like, diabetes, and they be having ED, all kind of stuff be going on. Heart issues, half blind from having glaucoma, all kind of stuff be happening. And then they be want to have the nerve to be thinking that, they're a catch because they have a house and a little change in the bank. It's like, have you looked at yourself recently? Do you realize that you are held together by duct tape and hopes and dreams? Sir, ain't nobody trying to be with you. Nobody. You don't have enough money for that. Not enough. Not enough. You're not in the millions. You might be able to get somebody you got millions, but you just got a few 100,000 from your retirement as a longshoreman or a bus driver or some shit. You gonna die by yourself in a nursing home. You should have thought of all that before you was busy jumping from woman to woman and not building anything like a family. Okay? You didn't do that. So now it's too late. I said I was trying not to cuss, but as you see, I failed. So that's just the way it is. But at least I toned it way down. I toned it way down. I'm trying to be better. But, oh no, your ex girl. That's horrible. I'm sorry, butterfly. I don't mean to laugh at you, but that's funny. Oh, okay, let's move on. We got 25 questions, and then she said a bonus question. This is number 20. Female, 30 to 36, from Seven Oaks, Kent, in the UK. Ooh, I never heard of that. I am ready to quit online dating after a row of not good experiences. I met this guy online and started texting, and then he called me and invited me on a coffee date. Right off the bat, he was the kind of person who overshares way too much about his life, and there were a few red flags about him during the 4 dates we went and in between. He would message me a lot and call me and would share everything about his life, good and bad. He invited me to his place for a meal on our third date, but I said I want to meet in a public place. On our first date, he criticized my parenting, saying I spoil my son too much, and that's why at 10 years old, he still doesn't stay at home alone. This is a guy who has no kids. So after our last date, he went to visit his parents for lunch. His dad was sick, and after lunch, he called me furious because the parents told him to go to his brother's birthday party, and he didn't want to go because his brother told him something that he didn't like before. I felt he was controlling, and this was too much. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so she sent him a voicemail saying she didn't want to see him. He then sends me a message crying and asking why I'm doing this to him. I told him that lashing out at parents is way beyond my boundaries, and also he criticizing my parenting. He then sent me another message saying I'm wrong about him, how he was seeing a future together, thinking about having children with me, introducing me to his parents, and blah, blah, blah. He sent tons of messages and only stopped when I told him I don't want to hear from him again. This happened 2 days ago. I'm still shaking from it. I was only dating him casually, taking one date at a time, and he was already planning all that. Also, his reaction seemed like we had been out in a relationship for months, not only 4 dates. And I'm also trying to he's trying to make me feel bad about my decision, like I can't decide something that he doesn't agree, like I owe him something. I think I need a break from dating after this experience. Can you please give me some insight about this guy from your perspective? Thank you. No. Why would I do that since he's history? See, this is the thing. This is the thing. This is what we do here. I talk about present day relationships and stuff that's going on right here, right now. I don't delve into relationships that are already over. What is the point? Okay, that's a waste of my time and yours. He's gone. Let him be over there gone. Why are you still talking about it? And worse yet, writing long ass letters to talk about him when you don't want him. Why do you care what he's doing? You should hope that he chokes on a donut or something, or some tea and crumpets, or whatever y'all eat over there in the UK. Fish and chips, something. He chokes and dies. That's what you should hope, instead of wasting time writing me a letter. Let's move on. Question number 21, female, 18 to 21, from Bellevue, Washington. So I had met this guy off of Tinder. There's your first mistake. And we were talking and we hit it off. And he said he was looking for a friend with benefits. And I said, okay. After meeting one day, we hang out almost every day. And it has been almost 2 weeks now. We cuddle, have eggplant, obviously, and we also go out to eat and we do things together. He has met my mom, and we just booked a weekend trip in August, and we have more things that we want to do before I go back to college. Being that I see him so often and he comes to my house almost every day, my friends and even my mom say that we are dating, but there hasn't been that label nor that discussion. I do like him and I would like to date him only. I don't know how he feels. He once told me that how he misses his ex, and we still talk about our past relationships. But based on the way things are going, I can't help but wonder if there's more to this. Would you say that we were dating or that there could be more to this? I'm going to choke you. You know why I want to choke you? Okay, look at this sentence right up here. He wants friends with benefits, and you were okay with that. Okay, that's point one. Number two, we have more things we want to do before I go back to college. Okay, so that means at the end of August, you're up and out of there. Okay, so with these two things at play, you don't understand how you just having a summer fling with somebody who told you off from the gate that he just wants a friend with benefit, right? See, friends with benefits means that you do things together other than just, you know, that's the friend part. So you're confusing that with dating. If there's no exchange of emotion, you just spending time together because that's the way that you do it so that you just not, just straight humping all the time, then that's what you have. He didn't lie to you. He didn't pretend. He didn't try to make it be something else to manipulate and control you. He was very clear and you signed on for that. So for you to turn around, knowing that you leaving town in a month or two and going back to wherever you came from, that this is a relationship. Why are you even thinking that? Why are you even focusing on wasting that kind of time and energy thinking about this nonsense? This makes no sense. Okay? Get it together, chick. Don't be going on no weekend trips with him. Remind him of the status of your relationship and remind him that you leave in town and that that's going to be that. Okay? Stay in the present. Stay in the present. And if you can't do that, then don't ever get involved in another FWB because you mixing stuff here. And this is always the danger when you have young people who don't have much life experience. You can't stay on one track. You want to jump tracks and flip around and do all this stuff, and you end up getting hurt or hurting the other person. Yeah. No, you do hang out with a FWB. If it's just a booty call, then you don't hang out. There's a difference. Friends with benefits. See, friends with benefits. You're friends, but you have other benefits. Booty calls is just straight about the boning. Okay? So don't get it confused. Friends, they go out to eat. They might catch a movie. They sit around watching movies at the house. They might cook together. They might invite each other to events or whatever, but they're not a couple. That's the difference. Okay, so let's move on to question number 22. This is a male in the 36 to 42 age group from Syracuse, New York. There's a coworker of mine, and normally I don't like to date coworkers, but she sent me messages on Facebook that seems like flirting, and she seems like she's interested in me. I showed them to my friends to get their opinion, and they said she's totally flirting and giving me hints. However, I feel looks-wise that she is way out of my league, and she's also thinner than me, too. I feel self-conscious about my weight when I'm around her and my age because it seems like she is at least 10 years younger than me, but I can only guess. So I feel that I'm out of her league looks wise, but I think she's really cool and funny and personality and really good looking. So I feel I should ask her out, but wonder if she's going to have a second thoughts if she sees the clothes come off down the road weight wise. What do you think what do you think or how should I handle that? Thanks for any advice on it. I really appreciate it. Oh my God, I just want to reach to the computer and choke the shit out of you. What is wrong with you? How can you be this old and this stupid? 36 to 42 and you got a woman 10 years younger than you giving you some play? And you sitting up here worrying about she might look at your fat rolls? Okay, first of all, let me explain something to you. Every woman wants to be thinner than her man. Okay, I don't even know why you thinking that you should be competing with her physically. Okay, there's no comparison. The woman is always going to look better than you, and she's going to be thinner, and she's going to have a better body and all that. Okay. Number two, um, nor I'm not a fan of work relationships, but it depends what kind of job you have. Like these people have these big campuses with 3,000 people on them and all this stuff. So you might work at the same company, but you don't work in the same department or even the same building, and you don't work miles away from each other, but technically it's the same company. And some companies have rules against this kind of stuff. So, you think about all that too. Okay. If there's going to be some BS that goes down, some drama, how are you two going to handle it? Is it going to cause a problem at your office? Think about all of that before move forward to the situation. Now, the other problem that I'm having is that you have absolutely zero confidence. Do you know the confidence? Even a big dude like Big Pun or Heavy D, them motherfuckers, okay, they had confidence. Even though they was big, especially Heavy D. Heavy D was handsome. Oh my God. I just love that man. He's a little too big to eat for me. But he had something. He's very handsome face, nice voice, and the way he carried himself, he had confidence. So see, a man with confidence, even if he's not the best looking, doesn't have the best body, he's gonna still get the attention of women because they are drawn to his masculinity and his strength and his energy. You, sir, are projecting that you don't have any of that. Oh, she looks better than me and she's out of my league. And if all you're exuding is weakness and fear and in lack of confidence, which is not sexy at all. Okay, it's a major turn off. So I'm going to suggest, look into the thing and make sure that you're okay about the job thing. And then whether you go out with her or not, you need to work on your self-esteem and confidence because your shit is in the toilet. Everything you wrote here, and I'm glad you wrote because this is something you obviously needed to hear. You cannot go out in the dating world shivered in your boots like this. No woman is going to want to be with you. No one's going to want to stay with you. She might even have been attracted to you, but once you open your mouth and start expressing all these fears and being all timid and stuff, she's going to lose interest because it's not sexy. It doesn't inspire women on that primal level to want to be with you. Instead, she's feeling like she's going to have to protect you. That's not a turn on. So get yourself to a shrink or whatever you need to do to work this out and figure out how to get your confidence and your masculinity back up because this is like not working. Shut up, Angelica. I just looked in the chat room and saw what Angelica typed. You know what? You don't have no sense at all. That shit is too funny. But it's true. It's not sexy, and I think men don't even understand that. They get angry that women reject them, and they say, "Well, because I'm a dweeb and I'm a nerd and this and that." No, you just a weak little panty wearing fool. You don't come across. It doesn't matter what you do for a career, what your hobbies and interests are, as long as you approach a woman with confidence about who you are and some masculine energy. If you don't have it, you sitting up there shivering in your boots in fear of being rejected and all this old shit here, no woman's ever going to want to be with you. Never. Unless you're paying her. Because, and what kind of business relationship that is. She'll be there as long as you're paying her. But any woman, we can't feel like attraction and love and lust for you if you're weak, if we perceive you as weak and incapable and lacking confidence and no spine and all these kind of things. Those are the complete opposite of masculinity. Y'all better get it together. Yes, trash. Keith knows that's my phrase. Trash peen. And because they usually be so excited because they getting some, it lasts maybe 5 or 10 seconds, and then the woman is sitting there looking at them all kind of crazy, like, what was that? So but confidence. That's most guys don't have any. I've seen. Question number 23. Male, 18 to 21, from Kansas City, Kansas. Me and my girlfriend are both 19, and we've been together for 3 years since high school. Today, she told me that her brother had a kid a few days ago and beat the mother while she was still in the hospital. Security had to intervene and the cops were called. The mother then tried to get up and leave the hospital and the baby. They are both losing custody, and my girlfriend's mother can't adopt it because she's a drunk. So she asked my girlfriend to adopt the kid. Obviously, we're not in a place where we can handle a newborn baby considering we're only 19. Our place is far too small anyway, and it just wouldn't logically work. But my girlfriend is considering it and feels like she doesn't have an option. What in the F do I do? Well, you tell her if you adopt it, you could do that, but don't expect me to participate in that bullshit. I'm out. And tell her that the best thing to do would be for the baby to go to foster care. And the baby could be put up for adoption. And that just people fighting to get a newborn baby. The baby will be adopted like instantly. And it will go to a good home with people who are mature and have money and understand parenting, and all kinds of good things can happen. Whereas the mother trying to make the 19-year-old girl be saddled with some baby from a violent fool and a drunk is wrong. She should be telling her mother, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sacrifice my life because your son made stupid decisions. I'm not doing that. You can't do it and I don't want to. And so the baby's going to social services and it's going to a foster home, and there you go. And that's what you tell her. Now you can sell it like, in some nice way, like, it'll be in a nice home in the suburbs and get the opportunity to go to private school and study in Europe and, just spin some yarns, do whatever you need to do to make it sound fantabulous. And then tell her, whereas look at us, we're broke students. We don't have anything. What will we do with the baby? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm not really ready for parenting, and I don't think you are either. So, dude, you better put some violin music on and get to singing that song. That's what I say. Oh my God. What is Keith talking about? Where did he come from? Okay, that's pretty wild. Okay, let's move on to question 24. Female from 40 in Davenport, Iowa. She's in a 40 to 45 age group. I'm 40. I've been dating this guy who's 39 for about 4 months. We had 3 dates in between September and October. He had some health issues, unfortunately ghosted, and we rematched in May. So that's rematch. That means on an online app, right? It's been 2 months now, and this time he is very committed. He mentioned that due to his schedule that I would have to meet his kids in order for us to spend more time together. I'm thrilled he wants me to meet them, but also scared as hell. I have no children of my own, so this is new territory for me. His kids are 11 and 12, one daughter, and the son is the oldest. He has been separated for 2 years, and his ex has been dating someone else for 2 years. The kids have been aware of this new guy, and he even stays over when they're around, so they've dealt with a new boyfriend of their mom's already, but never met a girlfriend of dad's. What's the best way to handle introducing the kids to me? This is new for both of us. We are adults and we both want this, so I'm not looking to hear that we shouldn't move forward. I only want advice on how to make it easier to meet the kids. Thank you for any advice or suggestions that you can provide. Okay, the sticking out to me is that he's separated. He's not divorced. That means you didn't say he was divorced. You said he's been separated for 2 years. So basically, you're dating a married man. That's what you're telling me. Okay, so these little kids are seeing their daddy and mother who are still married mess around with other people. And you think that I can co-sign on that. I cannot, under any circumstances, do that. Tell this clown monkey man that you are dealing with that you will meet his children once he is divorced. Okay? And don't you do that to them kids. You think about you talking about, well, I'm going to meet him and this and that. No, 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 no. You tell him that you don't want them to see you until he's fully divorced and single and available, which is something that you should have said before that anyway, that you wouldn't want to date a man who's married. Yeah, this is a just no. I need to make me a sign and just hold it up because this is ridiculous. He's married, girlfriend. Because I'm reading this and I'm waiting to see the part where he's divorced, and that's not what you said. He ghosted you. Okay, he probably got back with his wife during that time, and then it didn't work out. So then he came back online. I'm sure that's what happened because that's what divorcing couples do. They give it one more try, sometimes three, four times, especially when they have kids involved. And so the kids are dealing with the new boyfriend, and they want to meet a new girlfriend, but they're still married. Okay, I want you to sit down with him and I want you to talk to him about this and explain to him what I just said and ask him how he thinks this is going to impact the children emotionally and mentally. I want all of you adults to stop thinking about yourselves and your sex life. I mean, you could do all that. I'm not saying it, but do you need to do it around? Do you need to involve the children in it? See, that's where I draw the line. You could get your swerve on 900 times a day as long as the kids aren't involved in it. They're not a party to it. They're not involved. And that's where it should stay until this man is actually single and available and can have the kind of relationship that sounds like you're looking for. Okay, right now, this is not that situation. I caution you, I practically beg you not to do this. Okay, don't treat them kids like that. They don't deserve this. Even if they mother screwing around doing something else, you should not be a party to hurting them. Think about the kids. Okay. Whew. Well, she met him, last year or something, and she said they had 3 dates last fall. Then he disappeared, and now they've been back, dealing with each other for another 2 months. So, it's not like she's been really dealing with the dude for that long, but I guess she feels this false sense of, time since so much time has passed between, with them having known each other, been aware of each other, but it wasn't like they were consistently dating all that time. So to me, it doesn't matter. Ooh, this is sad. Okay, I feel sorry for them kids. They got two idiots for parents. Question number 25. This is a female in the 30 to 36 age group from Las Cruces, New Mexico. I'm 34 and I've been dating and texting with a man I met on Bumble. His texting game was spot on and through text always seemed attentive. He told me from the beginning that he worked a lot, but assured me that he would make time for me. However, we've only seen each other twice in almost 2 months. I knew it. When they come up with that I work a lot excuse, because I use that excuse too when I want to back men up off of me. That's a good one. I'll tell you why in a minute. He was out of town 2 weeks ago, and when he got back, I hinted several times about getting together, and when that didn't seem to work, even outright asked when we could see each other again. He said he would have to see. In the meantime, he has been working 6 or 7 days a week, and when he did have a day off, he slept all day. And you believe that? I told him yesterday that I needed someone more present in my life and that I'd like that to be him, but I needed him to talk to me. Nothing. Crickets. I feel I wasn't a priority, and the silence is my answer. I'm proud of me for telling him what my needs are. The old me would have hung on for the sake of hanging on. I would have liked to have had a conversation and maybe come up with a solution. But he doesn't seem to think it warrants a discussion, so there it is. This is my first time in 6 months dipping my toes into dating again. It may be a while before I do it again. That's because you don't know how to read signals. Okay, let's start at the beginning. Start at the beginning because a lot of women don't understand this. You meet a dude, okay, and he comes out with, I work a lot. What does that mean? That means I'm not going to be available to see you a lot or even when you want me to. I can't make plans in advance because of my work. Now, is he really working? Who knows? He might be some of the time at least, right? Because people do have jobs. But what usually that is a blockade to keep you from getting too close and spending too much time or expecting to come to his house and all this kind of stuff. It sets up a dynamic where you are going to make yourself available when he could squeeze you in between work assignments. Now, he could have another woman, he could have a wife, he could have a boyfriend, he could have, any number. It'd be what you call it, couch surfing, and not even really have his own place. Whatever is really going on, we don't know that, so we're going to leave that part alone. All we do know is that he put that barrier up, and that is an insurmountable one, because you cannot argue with people about not going to work. You see what I mean? That is an instant brakes, all brakes on, and the wall that goes up, and there's nothing you can do about it once somebody throws up the "I work a lot" thing. So when someone tells you that you have several choices, number one, you could see them when you want to if you enjoy their company. I mean, but you always make sure that you have your pair and the spare working, so you dealing with two, three other dudes, so you don't really miss him. If he pops up and says, "Oh, let's go to dinner," you say, "Sure, let me check my schedule. If it's available, you go. If not, you say, 'Oh, sorry, I'm not available,' and then you don't worry about it, right? Because he's not serious. He's not trying to talk about nothing anyway." The other thing is, wait, where was you say he texted them, everything was all right in the beginning. Um, I'm wondering if you slept with him on one of those 2 dates in 2 months, since he was all attentive and everything and assured that he would make time for you. Even though he said those words, it's not what he was doing, right? And I always tell you, watch what men do, not what they say. And so you got stuck on what he said, and then you had a nerve to think you're going to be jamming somebody up, talking about, "I need someone more present." You went on 2 dates with this man. He don't give a shit about what you want. You tripping big time. You acting like you have a relationship and he's your man. This is some clown you met on Bumble and went on 2 dates with, and you trying to jam him up about, "I wasn't a priority." Of course you weren't. I'm trying to imagine what kind of fantasy you was living that you thought you were after 2 dates. Whew, Lord have mercy. I don't even know what to say. But I'm going to say, until you figure I want you to watch some videos on this channel about how to date, because you just all off in left field with your stuff and just think you're trying to go jam somebody. You lucky he didn't cuss you out. They let some dude come and ask, telling me something about, "Well, I'm not a priority." I would have told him, "Well, you ain't. That's why I'm not talking to you. You something to do as an afterthought after I've done everything else that I want to do. And I'll have shit else to do, then I might call you just for the pure entertainment of it." Am I making myself clear? Do you understand? You don't have no kind of status in my life. If be trying to jam somebody up like this, your girlfriend, you would have got cussed out. Okay, this is it. This is our last. He's not a bumble clown. He just did what he did. She's too old to be falling for these kind of games. She's 34 years old. Come on now. That's some shit that you fall for when you like 16. You don't be letting no man drag you like that. That just doesn't make any sense. Let's move on now. This is our final question. That one would have been our final question, but we got a bonus question for today. I want to say before I conclude the show, if you have a question that you would like to submit for a future show, please look in the show description down below. Just expand the little box. You'll see all this text talking about the show and the format and all this old stuff here. And scroll down near the bottom and you'll see something that says get it, submit your advice question. Click that link and it'll take you to the form that you fill out. There are, information, ask for some demographic information like age and where you live, all the stuff. And then you type in your question, and there's an acknowledgement that you give us the right to, talk about your show on the air. You click that, and then you press submit. And that's the only way that I take the questions, because I don't want no drama. So don't be trying to send me an email, because Candace will send it right back to you until you put it on that form. So don't even waste your time. Okay, just use the form. I suggest that you type type your question into a Word document though, because I've heard some people saying that there's like a time limit or something, and if they be typing too slow, the form closes on them and they lose it. So type it in a Word. I wasn't aware of that. I just heard it. Type it in a Word document. You just cut and paste into the form. Okay. So there you go. Oh, you want to be like me, Kenzie? Girl, I was on that today. Okay, first, that's right. I said I wanted to talk about my forays onto Clubhouse. Oh my God. Those men over there are so crazy. I was on the show today and I told them that they was clowns. So those clown asses. That's what I told them. And they got all defensive. And it was like, well, you talking about black men. I'm like, I sure am. But you know what? Get out of your feelings. I'm thinking you a big pussy. It's like I'm talking about men who do the shit, specifically do the egregious behaviors that I said. Did I say to use the word all? Well, you said all black men. The word all never left my lips. That's what you interpreted as. You put yourself in there as saying all, but I never said all. Don't be trying to quote me and tell me what I said. I know what I said. And that's not what a word that I use unless I want to get that goat. Like they say, you said all men and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Then I might say, yeah, all of you, all of you, all of you, just to bug, to drive them crazy. But that's not what I said. And this guy, then he said, well, you said this and that, and this and that, and I had to correct him. I was like, no, that's not what I said. You thought that's what you think you heard, but that just shows you have poor communication skills. He got so mad he hung up. He got off the show. I was like, look, they aren't used to me over there. They're not used to me. I do not back down from a heated discussion. And one thing I'm not going to do is let you overtalk me. Okay, first of all, I'm too articulate and my vocabulary is too large. And you are not, you are a mental midget. You are you cannot compete with me on any kind of verbal presentation. You're just not ready for prime time. So they were not ready and prepared. And I just ripped them up one side down the other. You got a tansy, it's like they gave me, I think, 5 invitations when I first, and, they got used. I put the link up and people clicked it and they used them. But what I suggest that everyone do is go and, poll your friends on social media and see who can invite you. Ask them, tell them you want to become a part of it and to send you an invite. You're going to have to provide them with your, the phone number that you registered with. So please sign up on the site first, and then whatever phone number you use, you give that to your friends, and then they can invite you. It's all done by the phone or somehow. I don't know. But anyway, I'm trying to decide if I like the format or not. So far, it just seems like a bunch of weirdos and nutcases. And I'm like, shit, I have enough of that on YouTube. But one thing I do like is that, you don't have to put your makeup on. You can just be looking crazy. I had my hair looking like buckwheat and no makeup on, and I was in my pajamas. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I liked this. And I have another show set there for next Saturday evening. It's going to be late. I'm going to do the night starting at 7:30 p.m. on the Pacific time. So that's 10:30 on the East Coast. It's going to be a late night show. And I'm going to be talking about emotional intelligence. We've done that show here, but I want to do it on a new format. And it should be interesting because I have some new perspectives that I want to share, and emotional intelligence in raising children as well as in dealing with relationships. And it should be a good discussion. So I'll set a cost about 2 hours. So I'll put something up on the community wall about it. And if you're one of my Facebook friends, you'll see it there as well. Okay. Ooh, yes. Oh, yeah, you were in there, Sarah? Yes, it's going to be good. And my friend Almaz is going to be doing a show over there too on Saturday morning, and it starts at 8 a.m. But she's in Central Time, see, so for me, that's 8 in the morning. I'm like, oh my God, I have to get up. But anyway, that was that. So you guys, submit your question down below for a future show. Join me on Clubhouse if you get a chance to get on over there. It's Depsterism, same as here. And I have 2 rooms there that I'll be using back and forth. So here's our bonus question, and it says, came in today. This is from a young man in the 35 to 40 age group. He's from Oakland, California. And he asked, are parenting differences a reason to not date a woman if you don't plan to have kids together? Essentially, Deb, I wildly disagree with her parenting style. No discipline. The kid walks all over her. She drops what she's doing to appease this brat, etc. She recognizes where she falls short and wants to improve, but never seems to put it into action. I really like this woman, but is this a reason to end things? She's been in therapy for this and other things with boundaries and standing up for herself, but has made little progress on the boundaries with her kid. I have never met the kid in person yet, so it hasn't really been much of an issue other than hearing about it. But I'd imagine down the line it'll become more of an issue if we stay together, move in together, or have our kids around each other. Might be worth mentioning I also have a younger than her son who has no issues with boundaries, rules, etc. I don't play that. What do you recommend? This is tough. And you in the 35 to 40 age group, that's a little old to be trying to change your style of parenting. You sound like me. It's like we ain't having it. Okay, because you ain't paying no bills and you don't run nothing. You're going to do what I tell you to do, and you're going to do it with a smile, and you're going to do it fast. And anytime you don't like that, you can get the fuck out. Would I say that to my kid? Absolutely. Because I want them to understand you here by the grace of God and my love for you. But that could change at any moment. So don't think that just because you my child that I have to take some shit from you because of it. That's not the way this works. So you know, this is crazy. I'm going to say this, before you totally give up. The woman's in therapy and stuff. Have you ever talked to her like, okay, I don't know what kind of therapist she has. Some are better than others. But like, practical tips are what usually people need, and the therapist should be working with her on some role play. Like, okay, so you tell your son no. Okay, so then the therapist would pretend to be the son, right? No, mommy, please, I want it. Mommy. Okay, to start to train her to be firmer with her boundaries and saying no. Whereas if she just tells her, well, this is what you need to do, but then the woman never has any practice at it and she sends her out to, do with her son, she's going to fold because she doesn't really feel confident in her ability to do it. So, have some discussions like that and try to see if she'll talk to you about how her therapist works and, how you parent. Give her some examples of how you establish boundaries and things like that. I would hesitate to say if you really like the lady, and this is the only issue between you, that try to talk to her about it first, because my biggest point that I always press upon people is, so a lot of relationships do need to end, and they will, but what I want you to do is feel confident about the decision that you make. The worst thing to do is when people don't go through these closure steps and trying to tie up all loose ends and investigate all possible options. Then you leave, and then the rest of your life you're wondering, what if, and I messed up. I should have gave it another chance. I should have, could have, would have. Okay, well, I want you to do that beforehand, right? So you investigate this. You talk to her about it. You see what she can and cannot do. You observe. If once you've given her these tips and you practice these role plays with her or the therapist, does she show improvement? How does she handle the boy? And wait, did you ever say how old the kid is? No, you didn't. But you said yours is younger. Hmm. You never said their ages. But, it's this kind of thing that if she doesn't get this under control now, she's going to have an adolescent or teenage boy who's running her and who's possibly, hitting her and stealing money from her purse and all kinds of horrible things. So she's got to get this under control now. Okay? Because otherwise, if you guys got together, it would mean that you would have to be the disciplinarian of the two kids. And with the stepfather coming in, you ain't my daddy, that whole routine, that would put a bunch of drama on you. And plus, your son would be sitting there watching this kid cutting up and getting away with it. It's just going to be a bad scene. So, do what I said. What I suggest is is that you investigate these options for growth and development with her and see if that can even happen. If the answer is no, she insists on doing it her way, or you can see that she's just too weak and just going to fail and put too much responsibility on you and possibly cause problems for your child, then you have no choice but to cut ties, because you have to make sure that your son is raised properly with proper boundaries, and there's she's just gonna have to deal with her son on her own. I know it sounds hard and everything, but that's just the way it is. Okay. But I thank everybody. Thanks you guys for coming for our weekly show. We'll be here next Tuesday and most Tuesdays, and not all Tuesdays, but sometimes I have to switch it to Wednesday, but depending on what's going on. But we really do try to be here every Tuesday. My co-host and moderator, Shay the Light, is here with her brilliance, warmth to keep everybody in the chat room under control because folks be getting kind of jiggy. Sometimes she has to put the hammer down on them, but she's very congenial. Everybody loves her, and you guys are all great, very great audience. Thanks everybody for the chat donations. And I will see you all on, when are we going to be back here? Friday. Friday for the DNN. And then if you can make it to Clubhouse on Saturday night, I'll be over there talking my usual shit in a new place. Okay? See you guys later. Bye bye.